Let's get this show on the road. 2, 3, 1. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Winnetka Village Council regular meeting for January 5th, 2021. Happy New Year's, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask that everybody please mute your cell phones or other electronic devices. And also, if you could mute your microphone when you're not speaking to improve the sound quality of the meeting. Rob, could you do a roll call for attendance, please?
Certainly. Next meeting is January 12th study session. And then January 19th regular meeting. So that wraps up January. Both those meetings look okay for everybody? Okay, great. And then the first meeting in February is the 2nd. Does that date look good? All right, yeah. Terrific. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, you're supposed to do a roll call for attendance too, Rob.
Yeah, sorry about that. So roll call. Trustee Lampier?
Yes.
Trustee Apatow? I see you. Yes. Trustee Dearborn?
Yes, I'm here.
Trustee Coladarchi?
Yes.
Trustee Swerk?
Yes.
Trustee Kreib?
Yes.
And President Rentz, we heard you earlier.
I may leave soon. Okay, item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance. I'll lead us this evening. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
and justice for all.
Gotta love a Zoom pledge. Thank you. All right, next item is quorum. Rob, you already did that.
Yep.
Item number 4, public comment. This is the time of the evening where members of the audience, as it were, can either share their thoughts with us via email or they can weigh in person here on our electronic platform. Kristen, what's our status as far as public comment at this point?
At this time, we've received no email public comment in advance, and we did check the room for the ability to raise hands, and we have no members of the public attending via telephone. So at this time, if you'd like to recognize members of the audience who've raised their hand, we could do that.
Oh, well, I see that Mickey is raising his hand, so he must want to speak this evening.
Okay. So Mickey, I'm going to allow you to talk and ask you to unmute.
Hey, Mickey.
Hello. Yeah, Kristen, I sent something this afternoon. So contact council at winnetka.org.
Around what time, Mickey? Could you?
I'll say around 4 o'clock. It's okay. It's not that, that's not that critical. It's a relatively easy comment. So it's got 2 parts to it. One, to all council members. I want to literally congratulate you and thank you on the winter report that was published. I thought it was extremely well done. Awesome document. Hits the nails on the head. It was great. The second thing, and Chris Rentz, I had sent you a note on this. I believe there's an error when you're talking about the target schedule for stormwater. On page 2 specifically, it says that Duke Childs Fields and the golf course, that the schedule would be 2023-2023. I believe you intended to say 2022 to 2023.
Or sooner.
I just wanted that recorded just so everyone's on the same page and you and I don't get 1,000 questions this summer.
As we will anyway, but at least we'll have something to point to, right, Mickey?
Yeah, correct.
Okay,
that was my comment.
Oh, well, thanks, Mickey. Good to see you tonight. Sort of. All right, anybody else like to speak this evening? I don't see any other hands up. Do you, Kristen?
I do not.
Okay, then I think it's safe to move forward, right?
Yes.
Okay. Reports. We'll start with the trustees and I'll work my way around my circle here. We'll start with trustee Swerk.
I have
Any
no
report?
reports other than Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, John. Trustee Dearborn,
No report, Chris.
trustee, everybody just jumped again on me. Trustee Apatow.
Just one thing, just wanted to say it was nice to see Jack manning the show last night at the Landmark Commission meeting. Nice job, Jack, on a first time, and big shoes to fill, Louise, but I appreciate your contributions and your effort to the cause. So nice job.
Well, I didn't break out crying, so at least I can consider that to be a benefit.
Good time.
Trustee Lanfair.
Well, I'm in the land of all baby all the time. So if it has something to do with a 6-week-old baby, I'm up on it. Aside from that, no report.
Okay. Trustee Kripe.
No report.
And Bob, did I get you? I'm sorry. Okay. Village attorney.
No report tonight.
Okay, village manager.
Nothing this evening. Thank you.
Okay. And village president, I do have a couple things. I noticed something show up on next door over the weekend, and I thought I would amplify it only because I think it's important every year at this time to remind people that those of you who have public sidewalks that are adjoining your property need to do a better job of getting out and knocking down the snow when it's under 3 to 4 inches. The village will come by and plow larger storms, or if there's a really slushy mess or something like that. But for the sort of snow events that we had over the weekend, these little 1-inch kind of popcorn snows, folks, we got to get out there and just take 5 minutes and shovel off the public walk in front of your house. One of the coolest things about this village is the fact that we are so walkable. And I think that's one of the big attractions to living here in Winnetka, is the ability to walk just about anywhere. But it makes it really hard when people are looking to get out and get a breath of fresh air after being stuck in the house all day, or walking their dog, or going to get a cup of coffee. They need to be able to navigate. And Jim did a good job and had the guys right on top of it when it first snowed last week. But it's just like a disaster area out there now. So, when it warms up, folks, please get out there, give everything a good scrape, and just remember after it falls, if it is a little snowfall, to just go out there and get a little exercise and knock that snow down. Number 2, the texting program. Curious how many trustees have signed up for the Distinctly Winnetka texting program. 2. Okay.
I will make a note.
I'm working my deals already. I like a good deal.
It's when I get back into town. Right now, from Hartford, Connecticut, I can't do a ton, but.
Oh, sure you
when I
can.
get back.
If you can text, you can do this, Penny. Text
Oh.
WIN, WINN.
I did mean that. I meant in terms of patronizing our businesses is what I
Oh,
meant.
okay, that's okay. But folks, text WIN, WINN to 55678. So if you text WIN to 55678, you will be automatically enrolled, and you'll get all the nice updates from village staff and our village merchants as well.
We automatically in it?
That once you do that,
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought we were already getting that stuff.
well, I think you might get the eWinnetka stuff, but the texting program is totally different, Jack.
I am signed up.
Awesome. So there you go. And I hope the rest of the community does. Now, we only have about 1,000 people signed up, and I'd love to see that thing up around 4,000 or 5,000 folks, because then it starts to get some energy to it, and the retailers will really view it as a positive and a good tool to drum up business. So, and that's my report for the evening.
Village President, you do have one additional matter that I'll explain that's under your report for the emergency declaration.
Oh, yeah, that's an attorney thing, not a manager thing.
All right, I will explain it, even though it's your emergency declaration. So as you all know, at the end of last year, the village president issued a emergency declaration similar to the one he had issued earlier in 2020 and had let the council and he had let lapse, but because of the situation, it was re-upped again. It was re-upped through an extended expiration date of January 5th, 2021, which is today. So what would be appropriate is to have a motion to extend that emergency declaration, I think another approximately 60 days, or to your meeting on February 16th. Happy to answer any questions, but it is up to the council to extend it if it desires.
Well, I would make that motion, Peter, to extend to either 60 days or February 16th, maybe 60 days.
Let's say the 16th, because that's a council meeting date.
Okay, I'd make a motion to extend the declaration to February 16th.
And I'll second that.
Okay, roll call vote, Rob.
Trustee Dearborn,
Yes.
trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Apatow,
Yes.
trustee Kripe,
Yes.
trustee Caladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Lampier.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move forward to item number 6, approval of the agenda. First off, I am requesting that we remove item F, which is the contract for a low lift pump, from the consent agenda for a separate vote. Does any trustee wish to remove any other item from the consent agenda at this point? Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve the final form of the agenda?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Got a second? Okay, thanks, Andy. Roll call vote.
Trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Kripe,
Yes.
trustee Caladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Lampier,
Yes.
trustee Apatow,
Yes.
trustee Dearborn.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. Okay, we'll move forward to the consent agenda. I will ask the village clerk to read the items on the consent agenda.
Thank you. Approval of village council meeting minutes for December 1st, 2020 regular meeting, December 8th, 2020 study session, and December 15th, 2020 regular meeting. Approval of the warrant list dated December 11th through December 30th in the amount of $1,366,442.18. Resolution number R1 2021, approving the purchase of scba equipment for adoption. Resolution number R2 2021, approving a contract with Surveillant for SCADA support for adoption. Resolution number R3 2021, change order number 1 to a contract with Asplin Tree Experts Company. Resolution number R5 2021, roof replacement over reaction basin and chlorine room at the water plant for adoption.
Thank you, Rob. All right, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda by omnibus vote?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Dearborn,
Yes.
trustee Apatow,
Yes.
trustee Kripe,
Yes.
trustee Caladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Lampier.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thanks. All right, now we'll consider the item removed from the consent agenda, which is resolution number R4 2021, approving contract purchase of low lift pump. This is up for adoption. The reason why I pulled this is because there were some, I won't call them bidding irregularities, but we didn't have a clean bid, and that one of the bids was deemed non-responsive. And to be just to ensure transparency in our deliberations, I wanted to make sure this one at least got voted on separately for that reason. So at this point, I'm going to ask Brian to step in. Hi, Brian Keys.
Good evening. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you. And let you take it away.
Okay, thank you. On November 12th of 2020, we issued a bid for the purchase of a spare low lift pump at the water plant. The low lift pumps are physically located in the wet well building to the east of the water plant and bring the raw untreated water into the water plant for treatment. The pumps are a vertical turbine design, have like a 20-foot drive shaft with the impeller assembly at the bottom. It's submerged, powered by a 125 horsepower electric motor. There's multiple bearings and the parts are submerged and subject to wear. It's becoming increasingly concerning that, repairs are probably in COVID time further hampered, but basically repairs are time consuming. They require lifting the pump out to examine it and to make the repair. And in some cases, it's actually shipped out, lifted off, put on a truck and shipped off site to be reinstalled at a later date. The approved 2021 water fund budget contained funding for a spare pump with the intent that would be stored at the village yards. And if we have a time-consuming repair during a peak summer period, that we'd actually have a pump to swap into the wet well building at the water plant treatment facility. The bid was configured in such a manner that we specified the exact same pump that we have currently using, which is a Vertiline pump. One of the same mechanical connections, same electrical connections to match to the existing vertical speed pumps. During the bid process, we actually received a request from third parties that were potentially interested if we would consider another OEM manufacturer of pumps beyond Vertiline. Staff responded that they would be willing to entertain another pump if it had the exact physical setup, so it has to fit and match to what's at the plant. We didn't want to make any changes to the piping. Had to have the same physical pump characteristics, so you move the same amount of water. And there had to be a repair facility in the Chicago metro area that could maintain it going forward. So a company named Wastewater Solutions of Florida, Boca Raton, Florida, submitted a bid which included a Bosch pump and a repair facility in Chicagoland area. Staff contacted as part of our evaluation process. We contacted the repair facility. And it was at that point in time that we learned that they had never, they were unfamiliar with the Bosch pump. They didn't say anything negative, but they basically expressed unfamiliarity with Bosch. They had not maintained the type of pump that was being proposed from Bosch, nor did they have the equipment that would be required to lift the pump in and out for maintenance and repair activities or to transport it off site. That was not in their current equipment that they possessed. As a result of that, staff elected, with knowing this was basically a long-term plan for the water system, and we need physical, there's going to be a maintenance and repair of these pumps, as we deemed their bid non-responsive and moved on to the two other bids that we received from Illinois Pump and Lane Christensen. Those bid prices were Illinois Pump bidding $58,786 and Lane Christensen bidding $94,499. The one bid from Illinois Pump was within the budget amount of, we had a budget proposed budget, a placeholder of $85,000. We have used both companies for repair work, and we've also purchased a pump in the not too distant past from Illinois Pump for a low lift pump. The contract, the resolution before you would authorize the village president and the village clerk to move forward with a contract with Illinois Pump in amount not to exceed $58,786 for the pump. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that trustees have over the bids or how staff evaluated it.
Okay, any questions, guys? Rob?
Yes.
I guess I'm curious, you said it was 58 versus 94.
Correct.
With a variance like that, it feels like something was almost missed or they didn't under, that's just crazy. I'm just curious why you think that is and what happened or what's different.
It probably would have I would probably have been more concerning if Illinois Pump would have been the high bid, but we have previously bought a pump from Illinois Pump, and they have they've provided a pump, so we feel comfortable with their bid, and I do not have further detail on why there's such a variance of that magnitude for the same product.
And you're comfortable with the pump. How long does the last pump last? How long is this versus Bosch? How long has this pump lasted?
We have no familiarity with Bosch. The pumps that we're using, 3 of the pumps are older designs from, I want to say, the 90s.
Okay,
Basically, what happens is as they experience repair parts, it's generally not a catastrophic failure that requires entirely replacing it. It's bearings, a motor, a seal. And so they get removed, overhauled, and returned to service.
okay, that's all. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, anybody out in the public wish to raise your hand now if you'd like to speak on this item? I am not seeing any raised hands. Are you, Kristen?
No raised hands, President Rents.
Okay, we'll move forward then. Brian, thank you. I'm sorry to drag you out for one small item like this, but the good news is this shows just how on top of this thing you really are and what a great job you guys are doing. It's not always just taking the cheapest low bid. I mean, your reasoning for eliminating that outfit is solid, and I just wanted to make sure that the community understood that even though we rejected a bid, we're still doing the responsible thing and saving a few bucks at the same time, right?
Correct.
So
Thank you.
all right, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll move forward. May I have a motion to approve resolution number R4 2021?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Trustee Apatow,
Yes.
trustee Kripe,
Yes.
trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Dearborn,
Yes.
trustee Caladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Lampier.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thanks again, Brian. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everybody.
You
Thank
too.
Happy New Year, Brian. Thanks
See
a
you,
ton.
Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay, guys, as I said earlier, we got a lot of sausage to make tonight, and some of these appear to be no-brainers to me, but I've often been wrong when assessing that potential. So I'm just asking you that with four somewhat meaty items that were just, we stay aware of the time constraints and try to get through the meeting in a reasonable time. So I'll leave it at that and we'll move forward. The first item on ordinances and resolutions tonight is ordinance number M1 2021, 1180 Oakley Avenue zoning variations. This is up for introduction and possibly, Rob, I noticed you gave me the opportunity to waive intro on all of these. Is there reasoning for that I should know about? You're muted. You're muted.
I'm sorry, my apologies. The rationale that's been stated previously is that if an item, a land use item like these come out of the advisory bodies with no dissension or public concern, that it be noticed to give the council the option to introduce and adopt if you so choose. If you choose not to, then it would be simply, it'd be introduced tonight and then approved at the subsequent meeting. But to my knowledge, all of these came through the advisory bodies with, I believe, unanimous votes, no public concern that was noted or opposition. And that's why they're noticed on the agenda the way they are. If you'd like to change that, the council would like to change that, we can certainly change it. But previously, this board has expressed the option, expressed the desire to have the option if you so choose, but it doesn't require you to approve it.
Okay, and just to remind the trustees, there's nothing wrong with suggesting that we hold off on adoption until the following meeting if you're uncomfortable with something. So but I'll ask. So anyway, okay, well, so we'll move forward. The owners of the subject property have applied for zoning variations in order to improve a historic home rather than tear it down. Community Development Director David Schoen will review the history of the zoning application and the significance of the home. Again, this is the opportunity, we were all talking, we actually had the conversation on a couple of occasions that, we would like the opportunity to engage and embrace people who want to try to save historic structures in town. And tonight we're going to get a really good taste of what that means. So with that said, I'll release it to David and you can go ahead and do your thing.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year.
Here.
Hey there.
Just share my screen and run through this first item. The subject property is about 1/3 of an acre located on the south side of Oakley, between Gordon Terrace and Euclid Avenue. It contains an existing 2-story structure, and the property is zoned R3 single family residential. As I said, it contains a 2-story structure. It has a a Mediterranean style of architecture. The home is slightly over 3,900 square feet. As President Rintz said, the applicant had originally proposed to demolish the home. So the demolition permit application was before the Landmark Preservation Commission last year. And due to the architectural significance of the structure, the commission issued a 60-day delay. After hearing the comments from the commission, as well as the neighbors that came out and spoke at the Landmark Preservation Commission meeting, the owner started to work on a plan to retain a significant front portion of the home, which the commission was very interested in the retention of. So tonight we're reviewing a proposal that would do that. So the applicant is proposing an addition to the house. They are here this evening and they can explain their rationale for their addition. It includes a first floor that'll consist of a 2-stall garage. The current home has a very narrow 1-stall garage, so they would like to have a 2-stall garage. And then the addition would include an expanded kitchen and family room, as well as a mudroom and some storage space at the rear of the house. So that's the first floor. The second floor, the applicant would be adding a more contemporary master bedroom and bathroom, again, towards the rear of the house. As you can see on this elevation, the applicant is retaining the front of the home and the 2 front rooms, which was an important historic characteristic of the house that was recommended for preservation. So from the front, what you would see in terms of the addition is the 2-stall garage, which is set back slightly from the front of the house. On the rear, then you would see the expanded kitchen and family room on the first level, and then above the new master bedroom. To make the house more functional for the owners and their young family, the applicant proposes adding a 2,300 square foot addition. This results in the need for variation as the gross floor area would exceed the maximum allowed by approximately 1,000 square feet. Also, the proposed 2-stall garage will require a variation of the minimum total side yard requirement for the site, and that variation of 7.26 feet. Both side yards meet the minimum individual side yard requirement. It's the total side yard requirement that needs the variation. So on December 14th, the ZBA reviewed the request and unanimously recommended approval. Members expressed the support for the request, since the variations would allow the applicants to preserve and reuse a home the Landmark Commission found to be architecturally significant. And I'm finished with my presentation.
Kristen, can we bring the applicants up on the, have them join us up here?
Will do.
I'm assuming everybody on council here would love to hear from the applicants. Maybe not.
Good evening, everyone. Hello.
Evening.
Doing?
Nice to virtually meet you all. Happy New Year.
Likewise.
Same to you. Well,
Uh,
tell us all about your project.
I'll take it away. Okay, so yeah, David, great intro there. So overall, as David mentioned, we had originally planned to move to Winnetka. We're coming from the city, looking for a new construction build that we can make our dream home. We found this property. We felt like it was a great location, and the lot size and everything satisfied some of the new construction desires that we were hoping for. We then went down the process of the demolition permits and got a lot of feedback from neighbors, historical committee, et cetera. And we were given an opportunity to, take a second look at it really, and consider maintaining the important elements of the home, which is really the front of the house is the important part, not just the facade, but the interior living room and dining room and the foyer and the stairway and the upstairs bedrooms and things like that. The challenge that was really, actually, we got quite lucky because the home is structurally sound. The layout, because it's just a rectangle, we were able to add another rectangle on the back of it essentially. So a lot of logistical challenges were overcome with designing what we wanted, as well as keeping the important elements of the home and thus saving the house. The issue is that the reason why we went over on the variance in order to make that happen is it's a 100-year-old house that has old dated living spaces, a gigantic living room, a sleeping porches upstairs that we couldn't really reconfigure, repurpose in a functional way. And a lot of that square footage just put us over. So we're here to request to allow us to pursue the plans that we have presented and ultimately allow us to start working on it and come to the end of this part of the journey at least and start the next chapter.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time and consideration to think through the options available to you on this particular piece of property. I'd love to open it up to the rest of council if you guys have any questions or comments you'd like to share with our applicant.
I think it's a great plan, and I really appreciate that you all took the time to try to save the old house, and just excited for you, and thank you.
Thanks.
I again would like to say I can't thank you enough for being responsive to the concerns and taking a look at saving the house. This is part of what lends the character to Winnetka, and it's historically important, architecturally important to keep the nature of the street. I can't thank you enough. Your open-mindedness is really terrific, and we can't wait to have you in the village. So thank you so much, really.
John?
Yeah, sure. Again, like everyone else, thanks for working with us and trying to maintain the historic structure. Just keep, we don't really have any guidelines going forward as far as design guidelines, but looking at the elevations, as you get into the architecture and final drawings, really try to keep the architecture of the front of the house all sides if possible. That really will help add to the whole look of the project, including, something as little as your new garage. I'm not so, I don't want to play your architect, but maybe the square doors aren't the right thing. Maybe there should be an arch like the rest of the house. Look at those details and try to detail it consistent with the architecture of the existing home. That's all.
Yeah, I appreciate that feedback. And that's something that it's those little minute tweaks here and there that I'm sure we might still have as we kind of start budgeting out everything and getting everything together. It's also worth mentioning that actually we were fortunate enough to have the original blueprints from the 1920s.
Oh, you are so lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. So we actually are going to be reviving a couple of some of the elements that were lost over time of the original plans as well. So we're in a way we're even going to be revitalizing, making it even better.
Great.
Than it's been over the past few decades.
Great. Thanks.
Hey, are you taking out all of your sleeping porches?
Well, it's going to be combined into the bedroom space. So that
Because-
currently, right now, they're already kind of combined.
Yeah,
So we're just keeping, yeah, they're just going to be turned into still part of the bedroom. So the bedrooms are actually pretty big as well. Again, it's kind of, there's some inefficiencies here with the square footage, but that's just
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
the go at it.
sleeping porches are awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful that you're reusing rather than demolishing the house. And I remember the presentations and the discussion on the Landmark Preservation Commission. This is what the commission wishes would happen with almost all of our, not the junky properties, but the beautiful houses like you're buying, and the fact that you're saving it is just outstanding. I wish that we had more of them like this, and I really thank you for myself and for the commission in reusing and finding a way to save an essential iconic house in your neighborhood. So thank you very much.
Yeah, that's actually you're bringing up something that I was hoping to get a moment to talk about. I know there's a lot of emotion right now, specifically about another property in Winnetka that is currently being considered for demolition. I guess it's something to, from my perspective, now that I've gone through this, and I'm less emotionally tied, since I'm not really a resident yet, to these properties. My perspective, and this is just my opinion, if there's some like litigation later on changing some policies and things like that, I would push towards incentives rather than punishments. So that's something that I would just ask to keep in mind. I think that ultimately punishments, I think, will hurt property values long term. But if there's a way to incentivize builders or homeowners to keep it, I think that would be potentially satisfactory. And again, from our perspective, you're kind of incentivizing myself by hopefully if you guys vote tonight, hey, we did indeed approve a 20% increase in FAR to keep this home. So just something to think about. Maybe there's a bright spot across the village here. And as a future resident, I plan to be a part of a voice here to help with that cause. But
Boy.
A developer yesterday at the hearing made basically the same statement. He said that, last name of Kogan, he said that we were asking him, how could we get you to save a house? He's got a Frank Lloyd Wright sort of disciple house that he's going to tear down. And it's a beautiful house in great shape. And one of the things that he was saying is something very much what you're indicating, that if there were incentives for him, he would have been willing to have looked at saving the property. And he included increases in FAR and cuts in some of the permit fees and things such as that. So I think you're spot on to put the incentive aspect of it more upfront rather than on the back end. You're sort of getting it on the back end where we're being asked to approve after you've said you won't tear down the house, increases in floor area and stuff. So again, I'm glad it's working out for you, and I thank you for taking this route.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to have this community conversation again. Certainly, we did have a conversation about 20 years ago, and the community values around it were different in terms of how the community wanted to support historic preservation. So it's a new generation. I think it's a time for a new conversation, and it would be really terrific to have you a part of that. So thanks for bringing it up. It's really important. Yes, right, exactly.
So if I got some time and you want to join in, we would love to have you as part of the conversation next week.
Absolutely. I think
the whole evening is dedicated to this conversation.
Yeah, I definitely will be a part of that. Again, I'm coming from the outside a little bit, but yet still involved since I've gone through this. So I for sure have some opinions, and I've worked with builders here in the city. I kind of know the way they think, and at the same time, I don't want to hurt property values as an investor in the village. So I think it's important for us to manage this and handle it carefully and not emotionally, but at the same time, find a solution. So
couldn't agree with you more. Looking forward to the conversation.
Terrific.
Any other, Andy, do you have something to say?
I was just gonna say, do you want a motion to waive introduction?
Are we pretty much there, guys?
Chris, can I just make one comment?
Go ahead,
And I
Bob. I'm
think we-
sorry.
Yeah, I think we need to recognize the members of the LPC. This is kind of what they live for, quite honestly. We don't see enough of this. I, applaud the buyer here and so on. You've made great comments, but this whole process with the LPC weighing in without a lot of, teeth to their ordinance and so on, this is what they want to see. And we saw Susan Benjamin. If you read her report, it was fantastic. I mean, that is a legacy for your property that you have. The whole process here is a blueprint, I think, for what we want to get to. And we're talking about a very limited number of properties here. This is one of them. And I think they should be applauded. They should feel fantastic. There's a letter in there from Chris Ank, who's a key member of that commission. And I just want to say that this doesn't happen too much for that group, but this one is a feel-good situation. And I can't thank the buyer, the homeowner enough for this. And I hope that others will consider this kind of path, because the community stepped up, the neighborhood stepped up, and it's working out as it should.
Yeah, but now it's time for us to step up.
And for us to step up. You're right, Chris.
And I agree, Bob, with that. But ultimately, no matter what the Landmark Commission does and everybody's stepping up, it takes a reasonable buyer who understands he wants to fit into the fabric of what Winnetka is and why he wants to move here. And that's great. That's what we applaud and appreciate, that somebody sitting here reasonable and said, look, you know what, let me make this work. And that's great news.
You bet.
Although
Absolutely.
one tip for the sleeping porch, as I had one growing up as a child, you got to put the pillow in the refrigerator before on a hot August night, and then you can take the pillow out and sleep on the hot porch.
That I haven't heard. That's a first. That's pretty good. Yeah. I've heard a lot of different angles on these sleeping porches. I haven't heard that one. That's good.
And you won't hear it anywhere else either. So
Right. That's the exclamation point on the journey so far, right there. The pillows in the freezer.
funny. All right, Andy. Well, I'll since you were heading down that way, are we good, guys?
Yep.
I think
I have one quick question.
Yeah.
And it's not to give you a hard time, Christoph, or not to judge your character or anything, but I have a question for Peter Friedman. This variance is solely only for in the event that he does the addition. If it becomes for some reason a future tear down, the variance is no longer valid. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Again, not saying that you would do that, Christoph. Just want to.
Yeah. No, I actually did read. Now that I know that Peter wrote it, it does sound like it's very strict to this. What's been approved in the plan. So I got. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Thanks.
All right. We'll try it a third time, Andy.
Make a motion to waive introduction so we can move to adoption.
Second.
One more question. Was there any public comments on this?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did we miss that?
Yeah. Thanks, John. This Zoom thing it's hard to remember that there's people in the audience when you're not sitting there looking directly at them from the dais. Kristen, is there anybody from the audience who has raised their hand and would like to speak on this item?
President Rintz, there are no raised hands in the audience.
Okay, we'll give them a second. Still none? We're good.
None.
Okay, roll call vote, Rob.
Trustee Kripe,
Yes.
trustee Lampier,
Yes.
trustee Apatow,
Yes.
trustee Dearborn,
Yes.
trustee Coladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Swerk.
Yes.
That passes. Okay, we'll move forward. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance number M2 2021?
So
moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Trustee Kripe,
Yes.
trustee Dearborn,
Yes.
trustee Apatow,
Yes.
trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Coladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Lampier.
Yes.
That motion carries. Mr. Marsek, thank you so much. and I'm serious, we would love to have you in the conversation. It's a study session, so it's kind of a free-flowing conversation. It's not that this is formal tonight, but it's less formal than this. And the whole idea is just to be single subject matter, and we'll be talking about this. So if you'd like to join us, please come along and share your thoughts with us.
I'll be there. Yep.
Awesome. Well,
Thanks a
thank you
lot,
so
guys.
much.
Thank you.
And you're good to go. So good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Item C, ordinance number M3 2021, 930 Green Bay, KMK Luxury Consignment Special Use Permit. This is up for introduction and possible adoption. The lessees of the subject property desire to occupy the space on a permanent basis. After a successful run as a pop-up shop, they're looking to locate here permanently. David is here again to review the request with us. David?
Yes. So just quickly to refamiliarate everyone with the site, it's located on the west side of Green Bay Road, just south of the intersection of Green Bay Road and Gage Street. The building also houses Alexandra Kaler Design. Early last year, the Plan Commission considered a special use application for a real estate office in the subject space and recommended by a vote of 7-1 denial of that request. That applicant withdrew the request prior to the council's consideration. The subject property is located in the overlay district, which allows resale shops, secondhand stores, consignment, or rummage shops as a special use. The applicant is proposing to permanently operate a consignment shop out of the 2,100 square foot space. The applicant is currently operating out of the space by what the village calls a pop-up shop, which allows a temporary use to occupy a space. The applicant just recently relocated from its most recent space on Lincoln Avenue, which the applicant had received special use approval to operate in that location in 2014, and there were no issues or concerns about its operation in that location. On December 16th, the Plan Commission unanimously recommended approval of the request and did not include any conditions. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for David?
Yeah, I'm not clear. Is that the same organizations on Lincoln, right? Are they relocating permanently, or is this a second site?
It's permanently.
Permanently relocating.
Yeah, they have relocated. Yes.
Okay, great. Thanks. Sorry, I was a little confused on that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
David, a side question. Did we jump the Berkshire Hathaway special use?
I did by mistake, Jack.
Okay.
I did by mistake.
Okay.
Sorry, Julie.
I have no questions.
Anybody else? Okay. Something's going crazy with my Zoom screen. Hold on. Members of the public.
And the applicant, excuse me, President Rentz, and the applicant is present.
Trustees, do you want to hear from the applicant?
No,
Not
no
that
need.
not that we don't like the applicant, it's just we're trying to move along here.
It's great. Looks
Kristen,
good.
anybody in the audience who wishes to speak on behalf of this item?
Yes, Ms. Terry Dazen has raised her hand. Terry, I am asking you to unmute.
Thank you, Kristen. And I am here. Terry Dason, the Executive Director of the Winnetka Northfield Chamber of Commerce, and I've worked with Karen on a lot of occasions, and her business is fabulous. And I agree that we should all approve this move into Hubbard Woods. She is adding a nice amount of energy into the Hubbard Woods Design District.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
Anybody else, Kristen?
There are no other raised hands, President Renz.
Awesome. Bring it back to council. Any final comments or thoughts?
Do it.
Not seeing any.
Looks like a good idea.
Okay, we will, let me just dig through my cheat sheet here to make sure I got this right. Okay, we have the option on this one also to waive introduction. So I'll first ask if anybody wants to make a motion to waive introduction of ordinance number M3 2021.
So moved.
Second,
Roll call vote?
Trustee Kreip,
Yes.
trustee Apatoff,
yes.
trustee Dearborn,
Yes,
trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Lampier,
Yes,
trustee Caladarchi.
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. And now we'll move forward to adoption. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number M3 2021?
And second,
Roll call vote?
Trustee Caladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Apatoff,
yes.
trustee Kreip,
Yes.
trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Dearborn,
yes.
trustee Lampier.
yes.
That motion carries. Congratulations, Karen, and thank you so much for deciding to become a permanent part of our business community. We look forward to working with you. on
Thanks,
a
Karen.
basis, yeah. All right, now I'll back up. It was at the bottom of the page and I missed it. I'm sorry, guys. The next item is ordinance number M2 2021, 839 to 841 Elm, Berkshire Hathaway Special Use Permit. This is up for introduction and possible adoption. This special use application is being requested as part of a proposal to downsize and move a real estate office on a high profile corner to a more peripheral location in the commercial district. David will review the request of the project. So David, you're busy tonight. Have at it.
Okay. The subject property is located on the north side of Elm Street between Birch and Chestnut Street. The space is approximately 2,600 square feet and has been vacant since January of last year and was most recently occupied by Ellen's on Elm. The other tenant in the building is Athene, located to the east. Other businesses along this block face are Noah's Ark, Botanic Nail and Spa, Crystal Cleaners, and Ellen's on Elm, which relocated further to the west. The property is located in the overlay district, which allows real estate offices as a special use. Staff would note that one of the early factors leading to the creation of the overlay district in 1987 was the earlier closure of Carson Peary Scott, which was located on the northwest corner of Elm and Chestnut, and the subsequent occupancy by a real estate office of part of that space, which is today the current Berkshire Hathaway office. It should be noted, if the applicant is approved to relocate from its current location at 538 Chestnut Street to the subject property, any use that would like to go into that 538 Chestnut space would need to comply with current zoning regulations. So if another real estate office would like to locate in the 538 Chestnut space, it would need to go through the special use permit process and receive village council approval prior to being able to locate in that space. The applicant is proposing to locate into this 2,600 square feet, which has about 40 feet of street frontage. The space is smaller than their existing space, which has 4,000 square feet on the first floor and 2,100 square feet in the basement. The Plan Commission reviewed this request on December 16th and unanimously recommended approval of the request. Many commission members expressed their support for the request since they found relocating the applicant's real estate office to the subject property would free up the applicant's current space which is a high-profile street corner at the heart of the West Elm Business District, and it would open it up for more active retail or restaurant use. Whoops. That completes my presentation. And the applicant is present.
Kristen, could you promote Julie? Julie, Julie, you don't have to talk if you don't want to, but I just wanted to bring you up if you wanted to say a few words about the planned move.
Also, Jim Nash has been one of the major representatives on the project.
Bring him forward too. Is there anybody else we're missing?
And I will let Jim say who else he'd like to bring into the room.
Hey, Julie.
Hello, Chris and everybody. We also have a couple other people on our team who are here, Molly Ryan and Darla Terrell.
Wow. What would you guys like to tell us a story or?
Can everybody hear me? This is Jim Nash.
Yeah, hey, Jim.
Good evening and thank you for having us. And Happy New Year. Just to give you a little bit of history, our firm has been involved with the property since 1994 when the current owners, the Stevens family, purchased the building. They purchased it with Keening and Stray at the time as the main tenant. They've owned and occupied and improved the building for those years since 1994. And we've had wonderful success with the tenants, Keening and Stray, Keening Rubloff, and now Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Chicago. We also think that they are a great addition to downtown Winnetka. The storefront that they occupy varies by season with decorations. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services of Chicago has a crew that goes around and redecorates their storefronts seasonally. They've been good stewards of the neighborhood, holding face paintings and small concerts across the street at Dwyer Park. One of the big concerns that villages have with a service business on the first floor is parking. And we feel as though we've addressed the parking with the help of Keening and Stray, with the help of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services of Chicago. Because their business model has changed greatly, partly due to COVID, and in conversations we've had with Julie and Darla, the facilities manager, and Molly Ryan, the attorney for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. That model is, very likely to stay. That model being they have fewer and fewer people coming into the office. On any given day, there will be anywhere from 3 to 5 people in the office. Typically 3 people, the office manager and 2 support staff. And the salespeople come and go for short periods of time. In the past, the salespeople came in and used the computers, fax machines back in the day, and copy machines and so forth, and they would stay in the space for several hours and then go out on their appointments. Due to the pandemic, after their office closed for a short period of time, they started holding Zoom meetings. They started meeting all of their clients at the houses rather than in the office. And those procedures have worked out really well for the staff in the office and for their clients. And they've told us that that is probably going to be the norm, is where they have fewer people inside the office and having the salespeople meeting their clients at their homes. One of the other things that Keening and Stray did recently, this past Christmas, was they held a Toys for Tot drive. And instead of having the box inside the office like they usually do, due to the pandemic, they had the box outside the office where residents could donate Toys for Tots. And the last tally we had was 325 toys that were delivered. And that was a record for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services of Chicago. The current storefront at 839 to 841 Elm is a little drab, and they will be updating and modernizing the storefront should they be approved. And going backwards a little bit, looking at the parking situation, they do have only 2 to 3 staff members on site. And as part of any lease agreement, ownership has agreed to give them 2 spaces in the rear of the building, which is a paved, drained lot. And the agents that work out of this office, nearly all of them have the Winnetka tag for parking. So the parking issue should not be any problem going forward. David did a nice job presenting, and thank you very much, David. Do any of the staff members from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services of Chicago have anything to add?
I just wanted to add, thank you, Jim, for that great introduction. I just wanted to add that we are, really good neighbors. I think we fit into the community nicely, and this is a change that's happening just because of those shifts in how business is being done. I think it gives the village an optimal opportunity to have a really great new business on that, very important corner. And, we are good neighbors to our existing businesses that surround us. We always are very cognizant of making sure that our agents don't take up spaces in front of their stores. You'll see that nobody is against us on that because we really do work hard. And the agents are very supportive of those businesses. So I hope you'll approve us. And I just want to say we intend to stay good neighbors and intend to also continue to do wonderful things for the community because we're very, very invested in that. That's it.
Thanks. All right. Anything else from your side, Berkshire?
I don't think so, unless there are questions that we can answer.
Great. I'll go ahead and open up the floor to the trustees. Guys, you got any questions for either David or the team from Berkshire Hathaway?
Good.
Everybody looks good. Everybody looks good. Oh, okay. I'm totally for that. Thank you for moving, by the way.
I thought you'd like that, Chris.
It does open up some really interesting possibilities, Julie. So trust me, we will be working hard to find a suitable replacement along with the landlord there. So,
Chris, has there been any, do we know of any interest in that property? Like who might be interested yet? Or
I haven't been in the loop on it as of yet. Rob, have you heard of anything?
It's not yet, Trustee Coladarchi. I think if this is approved, we'll start to see more interest once it formally gets on the market.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, well, is there anybody from the audience other than outside of the Berkshire group that would like to speak to this before I ask for any?
President Rintz, Terry Dason would like to speak.
All I have to say is, Julie, you are right. You are great neighbors. The chamber solely supports this. We love your organization. It's always been really good to the chamber, really good to the community, and it's going to be great having you still in our village and in a different location that will open up our corner that will be really valuable to somebody in the future. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. All right, well, we will move forward with all the motion making and the like. So the first one would be if we have an interest to waive introduction. Is anybody willing to make a motion to waive introduction of ordinance number M2 2021?
So moved.
I see John. Second?
Second?
And a second. Roll call vote, Rob.
Trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Caladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Dearborn,
Yes.
trustee Kripe,
Yes.
trustee Lampier,
Yes.
trustee Apatow.
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. That motion carries. Good luck, you guys, and we look forward to seeing you in person for a open house when this COVID thing finally passes.
Okay.
Perfect place for a party.
Chris, we need to have the motion for adoption.
Yeah. The final.
Slow down, big guy.
Okay, I will try this again. Anyway, congratulations in advance, Julie.
Presupposing the outcome, who
Yeah.
knows?
Chris, I make a motion to
I
adopt.
actually had a red X next to it, so I mean,
Yeah.
okay, may I have a motion to adopt
So moved.
number M2
Second.
2021?
Yeah.
Trustee
have
Swerk?
those. Thanks,
Yes.
Rob.
Trustee Apatow,
Yes.
trustee Caladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Kripe,
Yes.
trustee Lampier,
Yes.
trustee Dearborn.
Yes.
Now we're done. Thank you. Good luck,
Thanks, Julie.
everybody. And thank you.
Thanks, Julie.
again for
Thanks,
your
Jim.
cooperation.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much.
Thank
Happy New Year.
you all very much. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Just so you know, I'm not a complete idiot. I've got 9 pages of stuff here I'm trying to work through, okay?
We never said that.
For the folks at home, it's not as easy as it looks, so.
Yes.
I got 3 different colors and all sorts of stuff I got to deal with here, so. Luckily, I think, hold on. We're going to Asbury, is that correct, Rob?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to the next item. Ordinance number M4 2021, that's 1415 to 1423 Asbury. This is a subdivision and variations. It's up for introduction and possible adoption. 331 of the agenda packet. This request to reconfigure 2 zoning lots would result in the expansion of the first lot and the demolition of a home on the second lot to permit the construction of a detached garage. David will present the request to us tonight. So David, go ahead and do your thing for the 4th time this evening.
Oh, okay. So the subject property is located on the north side of Asbury, between Vernon Avenue and Greenwood Avenue in northwest Winnetka. The property is zoned R5, single family residential. There are 2 lots. Each lot is 75 feet wide and consists of approximately 12,000 square feet. And each property consists of mouse got ahead of me. And each property consists of a single family home. With this lot line adjustment, lot 1, which is the property to the west, will be 60 feet wide and approximately 9,700 square feet. And then the lot 2, which is to the east, will be 89 feet wide and 14,200 square feet in area. The proposed lots meet all of the minimum zoning requirements for creating a lot. The applicant, as President Rintz mentioned, proposes to demolish the home on Lot 1, and the existing home on Lot 2 will remain. With the newly created lots, the village looks at any improvements that will remain on the lots in terms of their compliance with zoning requirements. Prior to the construction of the proposed single-car garage, there are 3 existing nonconformities that will remain on the new Lot 2, which is the easterly, or the lot on the right. And that's minimum front yard setback, maximum gross floor area, and minimum allowed front yard lot coverage. The Plan Commission found that these continued nonconformities would have no material increased adverse effect or impact. Just one item I would like to note regarding the gross floor area on the existing lot at 415 Asbury. So on the existing lot, it's non-conforming because when the house was constructed in 1999, the zoning ordinance was amended shortly thereafter to require any house built after 1989 to include the basement in the gross floor area if that basement is more than 2.5 feet above grade. The existing house is 3.5 feet above grade. Therefore, the entire basement now, which is approximately 2,500 square feet, is included in the gross floor area. So it was nothing that the owner of the property did. It was our text amendment that made it non-conforming under the current zoning regulations. That has to do with the subdivision. Now with the variation request with the proposed garage, the total gross floor area on Lot 2 will increase by approximately 133 square feet. This increase requires the applicant to seek a zoning variation. The requested variation takes into account not only this increase in floor area due to the addition of the garage, but also the existing non-conforming gross floor area that exists on the property. So the variation may seem larger than it really is in terms of the improvements they're making, because we're accounting for that non-conforming area, that existing non-conforming floor area. So both the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Plan Commission have unanimously recommended approval of the respective zoning and subdivision relief. Would also note that the Landmark Preservation Commission did review the demolition of the home at 1423 Asbury, and they voted to allow the demolition to proceed without delay. That concludes my presentation, and the applicant's representative is present.
Great. Would that representative like to add anything to your report?
And that would be Cal Bernstein. Kristen.
Yes, he did raise his hand, and I am promoting Cal to panelist. Mr. Bernstein, you should be able to speak now.
Yes, good evening. Again, I'm Cal Bernstein, and I'm putting on my video here. Cal Bernstein, I represent Judy Lesnick, the owner of the property. Thank you. Happy New Year, and thanks for considering this application here tonight. I will just give you a quick summary of why we're here tonight and what was the impetus upon going ahead and filing the applications that we did. Judy purchased 1415 in 2000, and that's where her family lives. When 1423 became available to be purchased a couple of years ago, actually in 2016, it was a next door neighbor, and she figured she'd buy it and be able to control what happens next door. 1415 has two problems with the house that makes it difficult for Judy to have to continue to use it. Number one, the garage is a two-car garage, but it's very small for a two-car garage. In fact, it's 19 by 19. Further complicating the matter is that because there's a grade change, there's an interior stair system inside the garage. So it basically renders the garage a one-car garage. So Judy, when she wanted to improve their home that she existed in, that she's living in at 1415, she wanted to be able to at least have a two-car garage on the property. And therefore, that's the impetus upon the requesting a one-car garage in the rear of 1415. While this is all going on, a couple of years ago, there was a pipe burst at 1423 that has rendered that house uninhabitable. And although the original plans were to probably rehab it and either sell it or rent it out, that could not go forward anymore because the house basically is uninhabitable due to mold and needs to be torn down. So the fact that you have to tear down the house it basically opened up the opportunity to, number one, improve the drive aisle to allow her better access to her existing garage, which is substandard, and also allows her to put a one-car garage in the rear of her property. While she's doing this, it's significantly reducing the existing nonconformity by about 25% at 1415 because the lot is becoming larger. So what we're here tonight is we're asking for two requests. Number one is for the subdivision to allow us to move the lot line to make 1415 more livable and be able to have easier access to the garage, and also to provide to further reduce the nonconformity, the existing nonconformity in 1415, and then also to allow us to move forward with redeveloping 1423, which the plans are ready to be submitted. There's one other thing I want to note is there's existing a very large detached two-car garage at 1423. That really doesn't compose well with the neighborhood, and that's coming down. And as designed under the new home, we'll have a loaded garage. So what's going to be able to be seen from the street is it'll be, instead of being a very large two-car garage, there'll be a one-car garage. And so there'll be less bulk, besides reducing the nonconformity, there'll be less bulk and less garage doors look towards the street when you drive down the block. So we presented these proposals at both the Plan Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals. They both approved it they both recommended unanimously. The Zoning Board was very helpful. They working with them, we reduced the scope of the garage that we were proposing at 1415. And we also went through the Landmark Preservation Commission proceeding. We provided an HAIS for 1423 that was accepted. And I will note that when Susan Benjamin was doing the study, she wouldn't go in the house at 1423. Just it wasn't safe to even go in there. So so that's our request tonight. I appreciate you listening and it's staying up at this late hour. I know this is the fourth case tonight, so we're available for any question. I believe Jim Chambers, our architect, is also available. At least he was supposed to be, and with Zoom I can't tell if he's here or not. So
there is a Jim in the
so the architect Jim Chambers is available tonight if you have any questions.
Sure. Okay. Trustees, any questions for either David or Mr. Bernstein? Bob.
Mr. Bernstein, I just want to make sure I understand. There were a few letters from the neighbors on Scott Street behind regarding the garage pad at 1423 and so on. Yes. I just want to make sure that what you're saying is they're going to remove that pad, that the objection or the concerns of those neighbors regarding water and so on are going to be completely satisfied.
Yes, the whole intent is to remove that overly large garage at 1423, which will then eliminate the concerns that the neighbor was having. In fact, the neighbor was very supportive of the application, right, and stated that assuming that garage is removed, and that's what the intent is, obviously, is that he's supportive of the application.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you.
Penny.
First of all, thank you, and thank you to the homeowner for working with the ZBA to reconfigure the garage to be more compatible with the neighborhood. And also, it is great to see something come down that will improve the situation for the neighbors. So it is sort of an unusual situation. I just wanted to double check the. I didn't see the width of the properties further down the street. Are the rest of the properties 60 foot wide, or?
Yes.
So is
I don't have
that
that
second lot?
information. Maybe David has that information.
Yeah, they're more consistent with the original lots in terms of being 60 feet wide.
So 60 feet wide, so that 1423 being 60 feet wide now will be consistent with the rest of the houses on the street. Okay, I just wanted to double check. Because sometimes splitting up these lots can make it weird, but if it's gonna make if that part's compatible, I'm good with it. Thank you.
John.
Yeah, one very, very minor question. Maybe David can help, or maybe Cal can. It looks like the front property line and the back property lines aren't exactly the same dimension. Is there a reason why we didn't just use 60 feet front and back on 1423, just to keep even numbers? I just don't know why they'd be front and back different on one of the lots.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. Interesting.
Which
Yeah, so 1423, the front is 60.8 and the back is 60.0.
I think mine shows 60.8. Maybe
it does in the front, but the back is 60.00.
Let me just look at the plat, because if you look, I'm looking back at the plan commission. One had 60. Originally, that's probably, you're looking at an old drawing, because originally you were going to be 60 feet, and then the other one was going to be 50. Looks like 50, or excuse me, 89.03. But that would create a variance request on one of the side yards, so we moved it over 0.08. And I'm guessing maybe that wasn't corrected. The intent is that both are supposed to be the exact same. I'll look at the proposed plat to see if it's
yeah. Because the front property line would be easily a 60 and a 90, but the back it would be the 60 and 89.03 according to what I'm looking at, which is page 354 of the agenda.
Looking for the proposed plat.
Again, minor.
That is an old plat, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, the originally was 60 feet, and then we moved it to 60.8. Is that correct, Jim? I'm looking for my plat.
Jim, you're muted, so you need to unmute your microphone.
Sorry, thank you. Yes, Cal, that was in order to avoid having to seek another variation for the existing non-conforming side yard of 1415.
As long as you guys work it out with David, and just make sure when you finalize your plat, you just get it correct, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure. We'll verify that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exhibit B on page 339, I believe, had the lot dimensions. I think are the current ones. David, do you want to confirm that?
Yes, that should be the current subdivision plat.
Right. So it's 60.8 for 1423, front and back.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Good. Thanks. And again, I go along with the planning and zoning boards, good approvals, and appreciate all the time you put in.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Not seeing any. All right, let's try it again. Maybe the fourth time is a charm here. Okay, we have the option of doing the same thing that we've done on the last three. So I'm going to ask the question, do we have a motion, or is anybody interested in making a motion to waive the introduction of ordinance number M4 2021.
So moved.
Second. Did we do public comment again? I'm sorry if I missed it.
You know, John, maybe we should just switch spots. You're really on.
No. I apologize, but I don't think we got that. Sorry.
That's a good call. Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak to this issue? And you can do so by raising your hand now. And
President Ritz, no hands are raised.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any. Okay, well, I'll assume then we don't have any public comment. And I will now ask for a motion to waive introduction of ordinance number M4 2021.
President Rins, we had a motion made by trustee Caladarchi and a second by trustee Swerk.
Okay, so that's good, even though we had to jump back. Okay. Roll call vote.
Trustee Caladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Dearborn,
Yes.
trustee Lampier,
Yes.
trustee Kripe,
Yes.
trustee Apatow.
Yes.
That motion carries. Now we'll move forward. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number M4 2021?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Trustee Caladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Apatow,
Yes.
trustee Lampier,
Yes.
trustee Dearborn,
Yes.
trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Kripe.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
That motion carries. Cal, thanks for coming this evening. Good job. Give my best to your client, and we look forward to a good project over there.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
See you later, Jim. Okay, we'll move forward, and I'll get off of this item here. Old business, we have none. New business, we have none. Appointments, we have none. And closed session, we have none. So there's nothing left but two things. One, don't forget to get me your reviews, guys.
Hey, Chris,
Yes.
I am not at home. Can it be sent? Can I get it? Can I do it virtually?
Yeah, Rob I think Rob, didn't you send out? Yeah, there's.
Online?
Look for an email from Rob that has.
Okay.
It's a fillable PDF this year. so-
Okay, great. I just want to make sure that was okay. Okay, great.
But don't forget, guys, because I got to compile all that stuff. And while it's always fun to sit there and watch football on a Sunday afternoon in January and do this, I'd like to get a head start on it if I could. So, and secondly, it's time to adjourn. So may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, Rob?
Trustee Dearborn,
Yes.
trustee Caladarchi,
Yes.
trustee Swerk,
Yes.
trustee Kripe,
Yes.
trustee Lampier,
Yeah.
trustee Apatow.
Yes.
And that motion carries. And thanks, guys. You know what? We got a lot done in a short period of time tonight, and I really
Good
appreciate
job,
it.
Chris. Thank
Good
you.
work all the way around. Way to go.
Thanks.
So,
Thank you.
all right, Chris.